Mila, how was your only English week last week?
It wasn't only English.
Oh.
I spoke a bit of Spanish as well.
A bit of Spanish? Well,
Yeah.
okay. That's not English though. So you spoke
yeah.
Spanish and Italian?
Spanish, I actually
Did you speak any English?
No.
No, what did
no,
English?
I didn't speak
Ah.
any English, so there you go. I spoke to my sister once.
That's okay though. If you're on the phone, it doesn't count.
Okay, then I didn't speak any English. Any
Yes.
English at all.
This seems like quite a pleasant background. I just hope that there's not too much wind noise because I'm a little bit exposed up here. So in my first video where I talked about the school, I spoke about the size of it and just how massive it is, like 200 students. I was a little bit worried that that would mean that it might be difficult to, I don't know, arrange anything to get people into the right classes, but it's actually worked really well. The class that I'm in, I think, is a really good level. I ended up in a B2 class, by the way. People were asking me that. I ended up in a B2 class. Am I about to get killed by a van? Just a nun driving a van there. I've definitely found that the people I'm in a class with we're all roughly at the same sort of level. There's no one who's obviously struggling or obviously better than anybody, so that's worked really well. In terms of the actual stuff that we're doing though, it's very different to the other schools that I've been in because, at least with our teacher, there's a really big emphasis on grammar. We've been spending a lot of time going back over the conjunctive, the conditional. For me though, that's working really well because I really like to get the grammar down. I find that as long as I know what the structure is, as long as I know where the words have to go in my sentence, actually putting the words in there is less of a problem. Because once I know the order in which the words need to go, then I can just meet people, I can chat, I can make mistakes and learn from them, I can read books, watch films, and that's what gives me the vocabulary to then hang on the bones. Something that I've noticed now though is that I'm 4.5 months in now to my Italian, and things are starting to feel quite automatic. Things are starting to just sound right, and so I say them without even thinking about the conjugations, which is a pretty cool feeling. I'm quite happy that I've finally got to that level in Italian. But there's still plenty of things that don't quite work like that. And I'm reminded of when I was doing German, and for the longest time I was really, really bad at any conjugation, doesn't matter what tense it is, but any conjugation in ihr, which is the plural you. And I'm beginning to get to that point in Italian where it's more the noi and the loro form, I think, are probably the two that, doesn't matter whether we're talking about congiuntivo, passato, remoto, it doesn't matter what we're talking about, what tense, but noi and loro seem to be the two that give me the most trouble. Anyway, I've segued massively into talking about myself rather than the school. Back to the school. One of the reasons that it's so big is that it has lots of relationships with universities, especially in South America, I seem to notice. So you get lots of people who are coming over as part of a group. So there's people who have come over from this university in Buenos Aires, from this course in Brazil. But I don't think that turns into a clique or anything. I think because there are so many social activities that we do here, you manage, and also because those people have different levels, remember, so those people end up in different classes. So it ends up being quite a nice thing actually, because you can actually just kind of like sneak your way into those friendship groups, and you know, suddenly you've made 6 friends all at once. It's like buy one get 6 for free. Right, I have seen a couple of people walk past out of the corner of my eye from the school, so I'm going to go and catch up with them for a second. Ciao ragazzi.
Ciao.
Come stai?
Bene, bene.
Did you enjoy the church?
Yes, of course. It's
Yeah?
a very nice church.
Need to take the obligatory Italian flag floating in the breeze B-roll. Hang on. Esther!
Ciao.
Ti ho trovato. Anyway, we've got about another hour here before we have to head off. So I'm going to grab another second to find a spot and finish off my thoughts about the school. This door, I think, will serve nicely. So I haven't quite yet talked about the trips that we do at the school, which I thought would be a good thing to talk about. There's just so many of them, which I think is the main thing. It's really surprising actually just how many they've organised. Literally every day, or at least every other day, there's something going on, which is in stark contrast to like when I was doing French, for example, where there's only like 2 things a week. So when the school does do these trips, like everybody signs up and everybody goes on them. I think to come here today, there were 4 buses. There was 2 little buses and 2 big buses that took us all over here just because there's such a big sign up. And then that means that you can like run away from the group and you don't feel guilty for doing that if you want to, but you can also stick with a massive great group if you want, which I really like. So yeah, I think those work really well. But it's all getting a bit gushy, so to sort of bring it down a peg, just to sort of balance it all out a little bit. Something that I am finding slightly frustrating here is that we don't tend to do many group exercises in class. Might just be our teacher, but we don't tend to do many group exercises. And we don't tend to, something that I really enjoyed in previous schools was where they had us do debates and like discussions between everybody. And I found that was a really good way to like emulate the sorts of conversations you might have, especially things like, I think that, no, you're wrong because if this was the case, then this would be the case. All those sorts of tenses are things that you actually use a lot in the real life, and in real life, I would like that school was emulating real life a little bit more. Something that I always enjoy is like, you know, hello, I'm a baker, would you like some bread? Kind of like role plays where you stand up in front of the class, everything. But now that we're B2, I do fear that maybe, now that we're B2, I do kind of fear that maybe we're like considered a bit too grown up for that sort of thing. And like, you know, standing in front of the class and pretending to be like, you know, a fruttovendolo is perhaps not what we're allowed to do, but I want to do that still. That seems legit for me. Okay, it's just starting to get a little bit windy and a little bit drizzly, which is the perfect time to head off. We've got 15 minutes now before the bus leaves. In theory, the last couple of times there's always been somebody who's got lost in the village and they've had to send somebody off to go and get them. Okay, adesso abbiamo ancora due... No, I can speak in English. Okay, because I've just been speaking Italian to these guys. So we've got another like, I think 2.5 hours on this bus. This bus, in fact. And then we should be back in Recanati, hopefully in time for aperitivo. That's what I want. Esther's found another use for the dead cat for my microphone.
You said it's a dead cat if it's for a microphone. What if it's not for a microphone?
Then it's a mitten for you at the moment.
What's the name of those cartoons that were like very small and blue?
Smurfs.
The Smurfs.
Esther has just spilled her entire spritz all over me.
Gordo did recording videos all day.
What have you got to say for yourself? Okay, I've just got back home, and apart from the bagno dello spritz, I think that went quite well, actually. I still feel pretty spritzy though, so I think I'm gonna go for a shower now. I also want to get a bit of an early night, because although I did manage to sleep both on the way there on the bus and on the way back, like it was like 5 hours of travel time overall today, and I think I was conscious for about 45 minutes of it, which was great. But anyway, notwithstanding that, I still think I need to go to sleep now because we've got school tomorrow. By the way, have I ever mentioned on the vlog how strange it is to like find yourself saying, oh, I can't do that, I've got school tomorrow, or oh, my teacher gave me so much homework, like when you're 27. I mean, I never actually do my homework, and nor do I actually ever go to sleep on time, even though I have school in the morning. But anyway, I hope you feel a little bit more informed about the school. I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you guys look for in a school when you're choosing somewhere? It'd be great to hear from you in the comments, so please do leave me a message. In the meantime though, as I run off to take my shower to wash the spritz off me, thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Ciao ragazzi!